Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It's Thursday, the 19th day of September. Today is Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, though, because it's very annoying. I've done it, and then Heidi gets mad at me. National Woman Road Warrior Day today, National Cat DNA Day today, and National Meow Like a Pirate Day today.
Wow.
Respect for the Aged Day today, National Butterscotch Pudding Day today as well. Those two things kind of go together. And St. Kitts and Nevis National Day today. So all of that, a lot of weird stuff going on today is what I'm trying to say. All of that, and I've got a Dear John letter. There's a guy whose girlfriend has some lingerie, but it's from her ex.
Oh.
And yeah, things kind of got a little not so great. If you'd like to chime in, I don't know if they're still together. Hopefully they're still together. But if you'd like to chime in with some advice, you can do that on our Facebook page. And you can also listen here in a bit. We'll go through the entire letter and give our advice as well. But on the Facebook page, you can chime in with your advice at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. There is no connection between cell phone use and brain cancer, according to a review into the potential risk of cell phone radiation commissioned by the World Health Organization and probably paid for by the cell phone industry.
I was going to say, I don't know that I would necessarily
Well, the
believe.
review involves 11 experts from 10 countries going over several decades of scientific research to to come up with their conclusion, rather. It's been a hot topic for health experts and regulators because mobile phones are often held against your head during use. And they do emit radio waves, leading to the idea that cell phones might cause brain cancer.
Right.
Researchers say their conclusion stands even among people who spend, quote, all day on their phone, end quote.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This is what they're saying, the World Health Organization, WHO. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying this is what the study says. Because if I don't say what I just said, I'm going to have somebody message me and tell me how wrong I am.
Mm-hmm.
So, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know that aliens exist on Earth? Well, at least that idea is becoming more popular. About 1/5 of UK citizens believe Earth has been visited by ETs. 7% believe they've actually seen a UFO. The figures are even higher in the United States. 24% of Americans say they have seen a UFO and believe in cover-up. That is higher. Belief in cover-up is higher than ever. A 2019 poll found 68% of Americans believe the U.S. government knows more about UFOs than are telling us.
That, I'm probably on that same page.
Yeah. Well, recently they started telling a whole bunch of stuff they've known that they have been covering up. So, well, that kind of leads to me believing more of this. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon will join Jimmy Kimmel Live and Late Show with Stephen Colbert and Late Night with Seth Meyers, and scaling back to just 4 nights of originals per week starting this season. So in the past, they all did 4 shows a week, but he did 5 shows a week. The move is believed to be driven by cost cutting, which also was behind the decision to drop Late Night's house band over the summer.
Oh, wow.
The Tonight Show has been doing original episodes Monday through Friday during regular season. They're going to switch to Monday through Thursday now.
Okay.
And Selena Gomez, Dick Van Dyke, Viola Davis, Billy Crystal, a whole bunch of other names among the many who have been announced as presenters for the 76th annual Primetime Emmy ceremony. hosted by Eugene and Dan Levy.
Now, the only reason I would even consider tuning in is
To
just
watch
for those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Selena Gomez was recently declared a billionaire by Bloomberg.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so she's much younger than us, and she's a billionaire.
Well, good for her.
I'm not even a thousandaire. So,
I do like Selena Gomez. I think
talented
she's
young lady.
adorable.
Thank you for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by RadioSavings.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on RadioSavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at RadioSavings.com. That's RadioSavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. A study found that when you cry, it actually does make you feel better. Did you know that?
I did know that.
I knew that as well. I figured that out while I was crying. I feel better now. Thank you. And there's nothing quite like the unique misery that is being parent to a child with a cold. Not only is your child uncomfortable and probably not sleeping properly, but you have to make alternative care arrangements, possibly alter your work schedule. On top of that, you have to look after a needy child who, let's face it, is maybe
Isn't gonna be
sometimes
happy. Yeah.
whiny as well.
Yeah.
Plus, you have to pick up all kinds of Kleenexes on the floor, and that's why it's awesome that a group of UK researchers say they can help you shorten your child's cold by 2 days.
Oh.
And they say they can reduce the likelihood that it passes on to the rest of the family. So they can make it so you're not going to get sick because you're helping somebody who's sick.
Well, that's cool. What did they come up with?
Not only that, doing so is extremely cheap and simple. In their study, they taught parents how to make and apply salt water drops to their children's nose. 3 drops were administered to each nostril at least 4 times a day until the young child got better. Other kids were given typical cold medication. They found the children using salt water nose drops had cold symptoms for an average of 6 days, while those under regular care were there for 8 days.
Huh. That's
Children
interesting.
receiving saltwater nose drops also needed fewer medicines during their illness. What's more, just 46% of kids using nose drops had family members catch the cold, versus 61% of other households. The treatment has the potential to be applied globally, giving parents a safe and effective way to limit the impact of colds on families and to reduce the financial burden this condition could create. So the thing that's fascinating is these researchers, instead of concocting some sort of thing and selling it to you, they're like, here's how you do it. You can make
Yeah,
these
I love
nose
that.
drops.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they actually did it that way instead of saying, hey, for only $10
Yeah.
per pill
Well, good
or
for
whatever.
them. That's awesome.
Yeah. Scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
And it's time right now for
Dear John
Letters. I'm excited to see what Heidi has to say about this. We got a Dear John letter, and you can chime in as well. I'll tell you how to do it now, and I'll remind you at the end. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Here we go. Dear John, I went to my parents for a few weeks. My dad was in the hospital, so I hadn't seen my girlfriend for several weeks. We agreed to have a romantic date night when I got back in town Sunday night. After a great meal and a movie, it was time for some fun time. She told me to lay on the bed because she had a surprise for me. Minutes later, she came strutting into the bedroom in some amazing lingerie. I complimented her on how great she looked, and I said it was flattering that she went out and got some new lingerie just for me. She said, "Oh, I've had this for years." Years, I said. It turns out an old boyfriend bought it for her.
Yikes.
They were together for 3 years and broke up about a year ago. I wasn't happy, and I told her that I'm not in the mood anymore. Then we got in a fight, and I left, and she thanked me for, quote, ruining the night. Am I the only guy who would be a little put off by a girlfriend wearing lingerie that a former boyfriend bought them? Signed, Baffled Boyfriend. So, what do you think, Heidi?
Oh, well, first of all, he would have never known if you wouldn't have said, this
Yeah.
is where I got it from. So that's on you.
So, and honestly,
But it's,
I'm not saying that she should have lied, but she certainly probably didn't have to bring that
she didn't
up
have
because,
to, no, she didn't have to mention that.
yeah, that would have
He
been
would have never
weird.
known. But that's still kind of nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's, yeah. I'm not okay with that personally, but I guess
Well-
to each his own.
And when it comes right down to it, again, I don't know what the answer would have been. Would it have been when you break up with somebody to throw away everything you got from them?
Well, things like that, if you plan on wearing them with somebody else that
Yeah.
you're now romantically involved with, is probably
not the kind of thing you keep.
appropriate to pull out something that you were doing
Yeah.
with, yeah.
But, now let's take it one step further. Let's say that, let's flip the roles around here. Let's say baffled boyfriend. Let's pretend like you were dating some girl and she knew that you really liked some video game and she bought you that video game and that gaming console. And now you and your new girlfriend are together and you're playing that video game all the time. Should you have thrown that away?
If you're going to be playing that to try to get your partner in the mood, I would say that's inappropriate.
You say that you're probably doing it wrong? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just trying
Now,
to think
if
of
you
something.
came out of the bathroom wearing, say, some G-string thong that your ex-girlfriend gave you and decided to share that with your new girlfriend, it's probably not going to end well for you.
I also tell you something else that does not help get them in the mood is if you walk in wearing Crocs. At least
not.
your results may vary, but my wife over here is not a fan of my Crocs. And I have plantar fasciitis, so if I walk around barefoot, my feet hurt. So quite often you'll see me
You're
walking
just
around
a love machine,
in
John.
Crocs, which, yeah. I should probably come up with some bedroom slippers or something. I'm just saying, not to make it all about me, but I'm just trying to point that one out. So going back to this, let's see, what was the question here?
Yeah, it's a no.
Am I the only guy that
You're
would be
not
put
the
off
only
by-
one. I would be super put off by that as well. So
And again, when it comes right down to it, like Heidi said, you were the one that told him that.
right.
It's not like he asked, did you get this
Right.
from a boyfriend? Again, and I
Right,
don't,
you volunteered that
so it
information.
still would have
That
been
was-
wrong. It would have been
that
like,
was on you.
By omission, it would have been
Yeah.
wrong. But I think that we could probably all agree that if you break up with somebody and they had gotten you a whole bunch of stuff, throw that away. Now, here's the other thing I would say. If you're one of these couples who breaks up and then you're back together in 2 weeks, and then you break up and you're back together in 2 weeks, maybe don't throw it away. Just put it in a bag and get it ready to throw away, or something. All right. Any other advice for this person?
I should do
Baffled boy. Now, I don't know if they're still together. It doesn't say if they broke up. It doesn't say. So I hope you're still together. I hope you guys can work through this. But this is why you should probably pick up a copy of the John and Heidi book we should put out.
No.
We don't have a book. But you know what? Here's the thing that I'll say. We've had some dumb things happen in our relationship.
Oh, of course.
24 years we've been married, going on 25.
25 in
And
February.
over the 24, well, we've been together 25 years now.
Yeah.
But we've been married 24 years. And over the last 25 years, I have done so many dumb things.
As
we
have I.
could write a book.
We could.
We probably should write a book. Not that it would be good. I'm just saying that we could. All right. If you would like to chime in with advice for Baffled Boyfriend, you can do that with this Dear John letter. It's posted right now at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
About 50% of apartments in Los Angeles do not come with a refrigerator.
That is so bizarre.
That is very bizarre.
So do you put your own in?
I don't know, apparently. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Out of the 20,000 species of bees on Earth, only 7 species of bees make honey.
Oh.
Yeah. The rest of them are a bunch of
Just a bunch of sting-happy little
freeloaders. Yeah.
beasts.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Cats sleep for 70% of their lives. It's a lot of
sounds
sleeping.
lovely.
Yeah. Fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
Every odd number has the letter E in it. We've talked about that before. That's pretty cool. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
All bullfrogs close their eyes when they jump. So it's kind of weird. I wonder why they do that. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way courtesy of mintervention.com. Question for you, Heidi. Research shows that people who do this on a regular basis are happier than those who don't do this on a regular basis.
Go for walks.
No, take a nap. See, it's even easier than you thought.
I love that.
Yeah. I am not good at either of those, by the way.
I can't sleep very well during the day.
She's wanted to take naps before, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, can't do it. Tried, but overrated. But apparently it's not. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Time now for some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. Heinz is toying with the idea of putting together a thing called ketchup sprinkles.
What?
It's not a real thing now, but they're working on, they're thinking about making it apparently. They're mindful of the fact that, the Dutch love to dip French fries in mayonnaise. Heinz is engaging in some clever marketing for this novelty idea of having ketchup sprinkles that you could, put in there.
Ew.
They said, have you heard that McDonald's announced French fry perfume in Japan in an effort to encourage Dutch people to try ketchup as a French fry dip? Heinz has turned ketchup into what apparently the only thing that they will do is they'll take the ketchup and the mayo and sprinkle it together.
Ugh.
The company's marketing a very limited supply of ketchup Hassellag, which apparently is like sprinkles in Dutch.
Okay.
Says it's like chocolate sprinkles Dutch people put on bread. They presented it in a video. They called it the most Dutch product we've ever made. The clip shows a transparent ketchup bottle filled with red sprinkles marked Heinz Hasselglab, which is like sprinkles. They admit the campaign is more of a stunt in an attempt to market their new product, saying that they want to just make people smile. So, yeah.
Well, that ought to do it.
You're making us smile, and you're making me wonder. I don't know if I said half of that stuff right. Weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. Time now for the list, brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. The top reality TV shows of all time. Do you have a reality TV show that you think will make the list?
Not a reality TV show person.
All right, number 5, The Real World, from 1992 through 2017. It was the first reality TV show to start the trend, carried on by big shows later like Brother and Survivor and all of that. But The Real World apparently kicked them off in 1992. That is the number 5, apparently top reality show of all time. Number 4, American Idol. Since 2002, they had a little break in the middle there, but it's been one of the number 1 shows for a long time. Number 3 surprises me, RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm surprised that it's number 3 on the list. I know that people like it, but I didn't know they liked it that much. Number 2, The Amazing Race, since 2001. I know a ton of people who like that show. And the number 1 reality show of all time since it came out in the year 2000, Survivor. So they've done quite well with that. And I know several people who've been on that. The list brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way courtesy of radiosavings.com. Another anonymous quote. Still scratch my head wondering why they write it down. But they don't write down who said it. Here's the anonymous quote. If I had $1 for every clever thing you said, I'll be poor.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, it's a good quote. I could probably live by that, honestly, because I don't say many clever things. But when I do, I'm always happy. I'm like, oh, see, somebody should write that down. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. Here's the headline for you, Heidi. Police help make a little girl's birthday wish come true in a heartwarming act of kindness. This comes from Hudson, Colorado. A touching act of community spirit. Officers there recently went above and beyond for a 7-year-old girl who was having trouble with her bicycle. During a routine call on Cedar Street, the young girl approached an officer and asked if they could help fix her bike. The officers, eager to lend a hand, worked together to repair the bike to the best of their abilities. However, they realized the fix is only temporary. This girl probably needs a different bike. While chatting with the girl, they discovered that her birthday was coming up on the 9th of September.
Aww.
Moved by the situation, they decided to make her birthday extra special. Collaborating with an anonymous donor, they surprised the young girl with a brand new bicycle a few days
I
later.
love this.
Hudson Police Department shared the heartwarming story on social media, praising both the officers and the generous donor for their kindness. It says, I'd like to thank our officers and our anonymous donor for helping make a birthday wish come true. This was a true act of kindness, community policing, and community service.
How great.
I think that's fantastic. And I see a photo here of this girl and the bicycle and a helmet, too, by the way. Just want to make sure you know that she got that.
Yet another reason to absolutely love law enforcement.
And sadly, so many times when there is a story in the news about a police officer, it's usually tied to something negative. And as a member of the media, I want to tell you how disappointed I am with the media for doing that.
Absolutely.
And I wish we had more good news stories. I love that we end our show every day with good news stories, and I try to sprinkle in some other good news stories as many times as I can. If you ever come across a good news story, I would love it if you'd share it with us. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And when you go there, you can also chime in on our Dear John letter today. And again, we try to do what we can to spread some good news, because sadly, we do have bad news that we share as well. But boy, the good news is so much better. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.